How do you know when something is true? In my mind, very often, I know something is true just because it feels true to me. It feels very true. You know it when you hear it, even if you don't like it. Another definition I've used is that truth is that which has predictive power. You can use it to predict the future a little bit. The more accurately you can use something to predict the future, the more true it is. But I'm sure you, Kapil, have very different definitions. So why don't you give me a definition or two of uh, how you know something is true?
I very much agree with your first answer, which is that it relates very much to feel. Oftentimes, when you hear truth, the inner sensation that you get um, of a resonance is beyond the intellect, and I think that is a great sign, because oftentimes we'll feel something that someone says, and we'll feel it viscerally as soon as it is said, and we will have a hard at the very same time we'll have a hard time intellectually framing it and understanding it, and that is a very good sign that something is true, because in very many ways we are beings in spite of our intelligence. We tend to use our intelligence as the machinery with which to process things. However, that's a very limited domain, intelligence. And so when it cuts straight through that into the essence of something, something within our core for which we have receptors, so to speak, seems to grasp that. And I think that's a very good sign of truth.
And very often it can, sometimes it just leaves you silent. Sometimes it actually creates an emotional response, especially if it's aimed at your identity or your ego. Like little kids have a way of telling truth in a way that adults don't. Like if you're fat, a little kid will just come up and say, "Hey, you're fat," right? In a way that an adult won't. And sometimes that can provoke a reaction from an adult because they're not ready for that level of truth. You're not supposed to go around saying in society it's not socially acceptable.